Welcome to the Zachrilege Cast podcast, YouTube video interview program that features me talking to some of the best and brightest in the atheist slash secular slash awesome community. This is episode number 135, and I'm recording live on March 13th, 2018. I would like to thank Trav for returning to the show last week, and I look forward to seeing them
awesome. I love Trav.
and all my rowdy friends this here weekend in Nashville. First, I want to say happy third anniversary to Not Another Atheist podcast.
Thank you. Wait, was it our anniversary?
I listened to the first episode, and it was March 13th, 2015, which is actually 3 years ago today, which is crazy.
Oh, my God. I didn't even know. It's my fucking podcast, and I didn't even know.
Podcast anniversary.
Wow, 3 years. Holy shit. God damn.
So what One Direction song would Brienne of Tarth play to hype herself up before taking on the Hound? What maple syrup would a hockey player poutine himself? Okay, I got nothing on Keith except totally accurate stereotypes.
Keith is totally not here right now because he's constantly fucking late.
My introduction is based on both of you. As I've found out often in the past 2 months, podcasting gold can be made of strangers you meet on Facebook. That's why I can't wait to debut my new show next week. That Nigerian dude I just gave my bank account information to, I'm sure to get more downloads than those trailer park shows.
But he really loves you.
No, it's Another Atheist podcast. Welcome aboard, Jen, and hopefully Keith from the wilds of Canada will show up later.
Yeah, hopefully. Whatever.
So I have out-of-context quotes, but they're from, well, who knows, one of you. So I'll just say them, and then I guess, well, you get to be the one guest who decides who said it.
Yes.
So who from the show said the following? This is the worst place on earth.
Me.
Yeah, talking about where? Where are you talking about again?
Clarksville, Tennessee. Which I've actually grown to really like now. Like, I actually don't want to move.
Wow.
So bizarre. Like, I
found
a really good group of atheists, actually. A really awesome fucking group of atheists. And now I don't want to leave them.
Pretty awesome.
I know.
Okay, the second quote, I am not getting those brain cells back.
Keith.
Yep. And the last one, all atheists are good for is for whoring.
Me. That's me.
Keith started saying that, and you threw the whoring part in the end.
Yeah.
So it's a combination.
Oh.
So what do you got beverage-wise tonight? I believe you're going outside your comfort zone tonight, right?
Yes. I am drinking a red wine, which I never do. And it's a Cabernet Sauvignon by Coppola. I never drink red wine. I'm usually not a red wine drinker. But it was left here. I had a poker night last weekend. And the bottle was left here, and I'm like, hey, why not? It's in my hey, if it's in my house past 24 hours, the shit's mine now.
Yeah, it sounds like poker night at your place is pretty intense.
They usually last poker night, they never end before 2 a.m. They never end before 2. And I got $40 taken from me, and I was about a bottle of wine in, bottle and a half in. And then I went out for cheese fries until 4:30 in the morning. So
it's a good way to even it out.
Yeah, even stuff out.
I'm drinking a beer that I had trouble finding, but now I got a couple extras. This is from Prairie. This is Pirate Noir. This is a stout aged in rum barrels. So it's very sweet.
Which one did I see this weekend?
Boozy.
Stone IPA? I don't know if you've tried that one yet. It's from San Diego.
There's one... damn, what's it called? Something like Amazing Bastard or something by them. It's a good name. I don't know if I like the beer itself, but
I know Stone IPA floats around here a lot. It floats around up in my area a lot.
Enough with the beverages and back to the show. So Not Another Atheist podcast. What got this show going? How did the two of you meet cute?
Me and Keith met. We were actually in a kind of global atheist group. And they used to do this thing called Selfie Saturday. So we kind of bonded over being totally judgmental on Selfie Saturday. And we were just friends for a while. And I don't know. He came to me about starting a podcast. We'd always kind of joked about it. And he's like, yeah, let's fucking do it. So I was like, okay, let's do it. And we did it. Like it was that simple. It was just, hey, maybe we should really do this. Yeah, all right, fuck it. Let's do it.
Well, do you have like an elevator pitch for the show? How would you describe the show for someone who has not encountered it yet?
Social justice and not giving a fuck.
Seems pretty accurate.
Yeah, pretty accurate. Vulgar, social justice, and not giving a fuck.
So do you have like a particular format to the show, or is it really just the two of you chatting?
It's very much a two of us having a conversation. We don't do scripts. We might cover some topics, but we don't do scripts. It just kind of comes as it goes and flows. So some of our episodes may be half hour, 45 minutes. Some of them may be 2 hours. It all depends on how fired up I get from the topic.
So that can be unusual. Like a lot of shows try to like be very strict on the time.
Nah.
I try to do an hour, but occasionally it goes over, and occasionally, short. But do what you have to do.
Run with it. We didn't want the typical structured interviewing podcast. We wanted something that sounded like you were sitting with a group of friends.
And do you have guests on your show?
Woo! We've had like the all-star lineup the last 3 weeks. We had Mandisa Thomas, and then we had Matt Dillahunty. And Friday we will be releasing our show with David Silverman. So
nice.
I know.
Like, so I'm officially the last podcast in America that hasn't had him on. He's doing the tour for American Atheist, and I don't blame him.
Well, he's got the convention,
but that's not the best convention coming up.
Oh yeah, I know. Ours is
because we're gonna be there.
Because we're actually in charge of the podcasting. You and I are actually in charge of podcasting.
I know it's interesting what happens when you say, "Hey, who's running the podcast thing?" Well, if you want to moderate, sure.
You're like, "Oh shit, really?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure when people heard who's putting together the podcast thing, it's Jen. They were like, "Oh fuck, this has got to be bad." Okay.
So 50 episodes into the show, you have not done an episode yet on Game of Thrones. Your thoughts on George R.R. Martin's
Keith won't let me
writing speed?
Keith won't let me because he hasn't read the books. He hasn't watched the show, so he doesn't know anything about it.
Oh gosh!
And I mentioned
it. You must be throwing like references left and right.
All the time. I throw references all the time, and he's like, "I have no idea what you're talking about."
Jon Snow comes back. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I kind of spoiled the fuck out of that for every one of our listeners. Whoops. Whoopsie.
These things happen. But are you on to kind of a regular schedule? Because I see you're kind of on the Bar Atheist schedule. I saw 50 episodes in 3 years.
Yeah, we do.
I'm sure there have been some.
There was a 8-week hiatus when I was recovering from surgery, which I took just to kind of get better and make sure I was all healed up and my fucking brain was leveled out and shit. And now we're back full force. We're back full force now. But it's the surgery helped with like anxiety issues. It helped with focus issues. So I took the full 8 weeks. Did what I had to do.
I don't know. Right after surgery, when you're like drugged up, that could be a good time for a podcast.
It was a hysterectomy. So I was like complete, like I couldn't even sit up properly for at least 4 weeks. It was like 4 weeks before I can actually get up and move around properly.
Right.
Yeah. But hey,
I'm glad to hear you recovered.
I never have to worry about babies again, and that makes it all. That makes it all worth it.
Funny, I had a procedure and my recovery time was a lot shorter, but that's all right. There's a difference.
Well, because you have a penis and it's easier on penises.
Yeah, it was like in the doctor's office. It took 10 minutes, and I tweeted while like
seriously
on the ride home back. Yeah.
I was in massive amounts of pain. I couldn't stand upright for 2 weeks. I was starting to walk around again 2 weeks later, but I wasn't completely good it was probably like 6 to 7 weeks, honestly. And now I'm fucking great. Like it's not even a thought in my head anymore. Like oh shit, I'm supposed to get my period. No, like I don't even think about that anymore. I'm just like, okay, this is life. This is fucking great. No more migraines, no more anxiety. Well, I still have anxiety, just not as bad, but no more restless leg. It's fucking amazing. I'm like, this is the best thing I ever done. But yeah, we took a break. Now we're back full force. We'll be releasing an episode this Friday. So not the Friday after that, but the Friday after that, there will be another episode. It's every other week for us. Because children, jobs.
Life.
So
is it recommended that you drink while listening, and do you drink while performing the show?
I just started drinking again about a year ago. But you can absolutely drink and email us. We love the drunken emails. Please drink and email us. Drink while listening and then email us. Because I'm probably drunk when reading the emails. So this will be a great exchange back and forth.
Now, I do have a comment in the chat room from Jeannie. She says regarding Game of Thrones, the books are Drek. What's your response to that? She
Wait,
says
I'm
the
old.
short
What is Drek?
stories are better.
Oh, the short stories were that like the Hedge Knight series was fantastic. But I have been a book fan for about 15 years. So the books will always be better for me. And yeah, just peeking over real quick. Yeah, the
Looks
books
like
will
we
always
lost
be
the
better.
Canadian.
We lost the Canadian tonight, so it's
Can't
just
make
me,
it.
everybody. Sorry.
Den show. You can talk in a Canadian accent or say.
No, I can't.
Sorry.
It's fucking impossible. It's fucking impossible. I can't. But no, I've been a book fan for the last 15 years. The books will always be better than the show for me. I enjoy the depth. I enjoy the little side stories. I enjoy all that shit. I'm one of those people that gets ridiculously angry when they go too far, when the show goes too far off the books. I'm like, no, that's not right.
Well, at least they made it a TV show, because I can't imagine them trying to do like a 2-hour movie based on the first book, because the first book is 1,000 pages. I don't know if the rest are 1,000 pages each, but they're pretty long.
The first book was about 800 pages from what I was remembering, and that's one of the shorter ones. I think one of them.
Oh, so they're like Harry Potter. They get longer as the series.
They get longer
on.
as the series goes on. I think one of them is like 1,500. I think it was like 1,500 pages.
Almost crazy.
And I've read them to the point that I can quote them, because I'm still waiting for the next one. Still 6 years later.
I was wondering. I didn't even know when the last one came out. I just know he always shows up at like every awards ceremony, and they make a joke.
Yeah,
and
it's
like, dude, why you keep inviting him to these things? He's like,
no, you're not allowed to leave the fucking house, okay?
Exactly.
But he's doing like all these other side projects and shit, and we're like, where's the book, George? George, where's the fuck? I'm not gonna do a fucking Wheel of Time shit with this. I'm not fucking doing it. Where you fucking die and somebody else has to take over and it becomes shit. I'm not doing it. I'm not. Fuck you, George. Go write that fucking book right now. Go. Both of them. We want both out at the same time. It's enough.
Well, there's 2 more.
There's 2 more. Winds of Winter and A Dream of Spring are the last 2.
Wow.
Yeah. And in the books, Jon Snow is still dead in the books. Like, this is how fucking far behind we are.
Yeah, I was wondering. I heard
he's having boat sex on the show, but he's still fucking dead in the books.
He kind of talked to the creators of the show to help them come up with some of the ideas for the
He said
last
that he
season.
gave them a lot of liberties from here on out, but they're going to come to the same...
liberties are with the checks that keep coming, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. But he said they're going to come to pretty much the same conclusion, and it's going to be bittersweet. I'm just like, yo, as long as Daenerys dies, I'm happy. I'm totally happy if she dies. Totally and utterly.
So you're rooting for like a... I mean, of course, Game of Thrones people, if you don't... I don't know what to say. Do you have a like a dream finale and how you think it's going to end?
I have a couple. My theory is at the very end, it's going to be Sam writing the story. Like, this is like,
fit,
like this is it. And they dropped the hints in the show when he went to the Citadel. And if you notice, the rings that are in the beginning of the show are hanging from the ceiling, and the monocle that was being used by the guy in the Citadel is the same monocle that flips during the open credits. So I think it's going to end with Sam writing the end of the chapter. Like, the story's already happened. It's just we're just watching him as he's writing it.
But he's going to actually finish it.
Yeah, well, he's going to actually fucking finish it. But I think that's going to be the end. I want Dany to die. Of course, I want Jon to live. I want Jon. Jon Snow has been my book crush for 15 years. I want him to live. I so want him to live. I think Sansa's going to live. I think they're going to very Queen Elizabeth her. Queen Elizabeth I her. I think Tyrion's going to live, and I want Arya to live.
I feel like, after a while, like the first season, and we won't make this an entire Game of Thrones show, but you felt like, as someone who hasn't read the books, that like anyone could die, and now you're like, well, they can't kill Tyrion now, and Daenerys is gonna make it to the last season. Well, it's already the last season, so clearly that's gonna happen. But yeah, it's like, okay, they've actually gone the other way lately. Like, they were killing a lot of people, and then like the last season they killed.
There's like nobody left to kill. Cersei fucking killed everybody. There's like nobody left to kill, and that That was one of the better show changes. In the book, she blows up the Tower of the Hand. She blew that up and killed like her uncle and like a whole bunch of other people. That shit, the set, oh my god, that was beautiful. And like I'm sitting there watching it and the music, the background music's actually on a few of my playlists. Like I love that track. And I'm just like, she's gonna blow up the fucking set. Holy shit, this crazy bitch is gonna blow this shit up. And you know what was coming to? I'm like, if she's gonna blow this shit up, she's not gonna blow this shit. She gonna blow this shit up. I was like, oh, go ahead, crazy bitch. Get your wine. Blow these motherfuckers up.
Get your wine. I do like her giant glasses of wine, you know.
I secretly root for Cersei. Because I kind of identify with her. I secretly root for her. I do. And the background noise is my child having his own little bedtime party, apparently, because he hasn't gone to bed.
So in the history and you get to speak for the show, so you're the voice. Do you have some favorite or guests or episodes you've done so far?
I really enjoyed having Mandisa. Mandisa's a really good friend of mine. And it was a lot more like just me and her grew up about 10 blocks from each other. We never met each other, but we grew up about 10 blocks from each other.
That's right. You mentioned that in the show. Yeah. Right. See, she lives in Atlanta. And I think I've seen her in Atlanta once, but I've seen her at conferences like half a dozen times because she was in Chattanooga. She was at ReasonCon one time. She was in Nashville last year. She's coming back to Nashville, which is great.
Kentucky Free Thought too. Did you? I don't think
I didn't get to Kentucky. Yeah.
That was really fucking. That was really. It was just weird.
It was weird.
That was really weird. Like, it was one room, and it was just like a conference room, and they just shoved all these different people on stage. And then we went out to get coffee and noticed that everything in Louisville closed at 2:00 on Sunday. Everything. And everything was, I'm sorry, on Saturday. And then everything was closed on Sunday. So here we are driving around for 15 fucking minutes looking for fucking coffee. Finally find some. Was standing there. It's this little hipster joint. And this guy rolls in with the cutoff military ACU shorts on with the big fucking eagle and, you know, fucking Confederate flag tattoos. And we're like, oh, shit. Okay. And we're just sitting there. I was like, oh, shit. Okay. And then his boyfriend walks in and he kissed him. We were like, whoa, fucking plot twist. What the fuck? This is the strangest fucking city I've ever been to. This is the strangest fucking place I've ever been. I was like, we're never coming back here. This is the fucking Twilight Zone. Fuck this place. I will never go back to Louisville now because of that shit. I'm like, no, everything is fucking backwards and closed. I don't fuck this place now. I don't do this shit now. No.
Well, it's like before they changed the rules in Georgia where you can actually buy alcohol on Sunday. It's like, just buy your alcohol ahead, you know, but if you don't know the rules, you're kind of screwed when that happens.
Well, it's like that here. You can't buy alcohol on Sundays. So New Year's was fun. Watching us all scramble. Fucking New Year's Eve was fun. Watching us all scramble on the 30th, trying to fucking gather all the alcohol that we can find. It was like a really bad alcoholic scavenger hunt.
It's not a sign there's a problem. It's totally cool. No issues at all.
I mean, we don't get shit faced when we're not around each other.
That is true. Well, now last episode I listened to, the last episode you had is episode 50. So of course, congratulations on that one. You got to talk to Matt Dillahunty.
Yep.
And for me, it was almost like we were traveling through like in a time capsule almost because it was right before the Lawrence Krauss BuzzFeed article came out.
It was recorded. We recorded that like 2 days before that shit came out. It was like a day or two.
Because at first,
fuck, we should have waited.
He was on. What show? Who talked to him? I can't remember. It might have been. Dang, I can't remember if it was Serious Inquiries Only or another one. But he was on a show, you know, kind of explaining the whole Krauss situation.
Right.
But in a way, at first,
it was Callie's show that he just did.
Yeah, Callie, that's right. Atheist Manifesto. I forgot you, Callie. How could you? This is a magical weekend.
I'm gonna tell her this weekend that you forgot.
Shh. Good. No one listens anyway. That's all right.
I don't care. I'm gonna tell on you anyway.
That's cool. So, how different do you think the interview would have been had it happened 3 days or a week later?
Wow, it would have been probably. I mean, I would have asked Matt what his limits were, and I do like to respect my guest limits. But I mean, it would have obviously been the elephant in the room that we had to address. And it probably would have been, I mean, the Matt Dillahunty episode was so laid back and so just kind of flowing, and it probably would have been way more tense.
Yeah, that was the thing about the Atheist Manifesto episode, that it was almost like, I don't know if there was a fear of like litigation. He was like being almost too careful, and it seemed more about like how he was dealing with the whole situation, which, I mean, hey, it's, you know, it's so weird, the concept of, because at these conferences you get together and everybody's like, oh yeah, I know you from the web, or oh, you helped me through this situation, and nobody's that big a star where everybody's kind of blowing anybody off. And Matt's done pretty well. I mean, he's got, you know, he does.
He caught a lot of shit activism.
With, yeah,
you know, waiting about it, and right. And I mean, I've been kind of waiting on putting out a statement too, because I don't want to invite bullshit, and it's hard to do in a situation like this. But he caught a lot of shit for it, and I kind of feel for him that, you know, he said many times that he was going to put a statement out at NanoCon because of the theme, which was, you know, consensual shit. And he was so backed into a corner that he was kind of forced to do it. And that's kind of fucked up. Like, and my biggest beef with all of this shit, because like Sam Harris has been getting shit, Matt Dillahunty, Seth Andrews. What I've noticed a lot in our community is that people tend to leave their gods and then anoint humans as gods in this quote unquote movement. And they elevate these people to these deity statuses that it's like, okay, one person fucks up, but you have to be held accountable for it too. And it's like, wait a fucking minute. Hold the fuck up. You left a religion because you found out that your infallible God was in fact fallible, to the point that you no longer fucking believe in them. But then you put the burden on raising mere fucking human beings to these godlike statuses. And that's too much pressure for any fucking person to bear. But it's like, I thought the whole reason for being, you know, free thinkers and skeptics was to think for yourself, not to have some idol fucking tell you how to think. So instead of forming your own opinions, why are you immediately calling on the quote unquote horsemen of the atheist movement to fucking tell you how it is? Yeah, stop fucking raising humans to godlike statuses. This is how we got into this shit in the first fucking place.
Yeah, I would hope that we're beyond, I guess, deifying, but you definitely
it's more common than I thought it would be.
Yeah. Because I mean, with Matt Dillahunty, he was the first, you know, I saw the Atheist Experience, like the first podcast I ever saw.
Right, like, yeah, that was one of my first.
And I saw him, he came to Atlanta and he tore a new asshole out of like an apologist, a local like pastor who thought he was all cool and stuff. And he had the whole crowd behind him, and Matt just demolished him because this guy had not seen these arguments before in his life. And it was definitely something else to see him. And after I talked to him, it was just like, yeah, start your own community. Like, do your own thing. It wasn't
your own fucking thing.
It wasn't like, follow me, I know the way.
Right.
I feel like he's a pretty humble guy.
It was the reaction to
this has gone pretty.
It was the reaction to Krauss that fucking triggered this shit in me. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, he's a brilliant scientist. Don't get me wrong. Lawrence Krauss is an amazing scientist. And his work, he's done amazing work for humanity in his endeavors. However, just because he's a brilliant scientist and an atheist does not mean he is not a piece of shit human being. And I'm not sitting here saying that Lawrence Krauss is a piece of shit human being. I'm just saying, just because you're an atheist does not make you not an asshole. And then I'm hearing things like, damn, he was my hero. And, you know, oh shit. And I followed him. And I'm like, you walked yourself out of fucking religion. Why are you becoming a sheep to another fucking shepherd? Why? Walk on your fucking own.
Were you at the last Reason Con?
I did. I was not at the last Reason Con, but I will be at the next one. Because
Lawrence Krauss was there, but he was there so briefly. Like, he did a talk and he got let out and went. He was going to like I forget, it was a March for Science thing. And I didn't really, it's sometimes like when somebody's put on such a high level, I don't even want to talk to them.
Right.
I want to talk to the people who have like seen their podcast and I kind of know them vaguely. And then you realize they're normal people.
Right.
Like it's more fun to have a conversation about No Illusions about the Jacksonville Jaguars, like a normal life thing. You go, oh, okay, we're just normal people. But yeah, when somebody does what Lawrence Krauss did, and it doesn't even really, the details don't always matter. It's like, yeah, it's pretty clear that there's something not right there.
No, and like, I mean, everything's coming out now like it does. Once the Whisper network egg cracks, everything's pouring out. And it's, oh, he was my hero. And that's the shit that's pissing me off. That's the shit that's pissing me off. Oh, I followed everything he said. And then this happens with guys like Seth and Matt and Sam Harris. And it happens to guys like this. And it's like, that's a lot of fucking pressure to put on one person. That's a lot of fucking pressure. And that's really fucking unfair, first off. Secondly, did you leave religion because the doctrine just didn't fit what you wanted for your life? And you're just looking for something else to follow? Like, these are deep fucking questions these people need to ask themselves. Do I admire a lot of the more prominent members in our community? Of course. Of course I admire some of what they do. But I'm not going to sit there and follow them like, fucking parting the Red Sea and, hey, let's, get some Hanukkah going. No, I'm not going to fucking do that shit. I'm still going to form my own fucking opinions and shit. And it's not going to be led by something somebody else says. That's what religion was about. I kind of fucking ran like my tampon string was on fire from that shit.
That sounds like a bad thing.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you do get into a new community, and when you start out, you're like, oh, I found my people. I found my community. And then you forget we're all human beings too. And like, oh, yeah, this person's got this issue. This person's got this issue.
Yeah, and it's
for the most part, the people who you can forgive certain things about, you get along with them. You become friends with them. And other people you go, right. Oh, never mind. I thought we had something here.
I've had
happening.
Plenty of people in our community where I'm just like, okay, you're cool and you're recognized and a lot of people get along with you, but we just don't. And that's okay. I'm not for everybody. I get that. I know exactly what the fuck my personality is, and I get that shit's not for everybody. That's cool. No fucking harm, no foul. But it's this idol worship that fucks me up. And it's like your whole fucking world and your whole belief system came falling down on you because Lawrence Krauss has sexual assault allegations against him. Like, I thought you went through this already with religion. How are you a skeptic and a free thinker if one man's downfall is causing you a fucking life crisis?
Well, there are a lot of crises going on.
Oh, yeah, we've got a few of them. We've got a few of them surfacing. We've got a few of them.
Despite it all, are we all looking forward to this big weekend? So NanoCon is this weekend.
Looking forward to this.
I love the fact that Patrick scheduled an event in Nashville, Tennessee, the weekend of St. Patrick's Day. And also there's an NCAA basketball tournament going on in town.
Yeah, I don't even know.
So we might want to stick to our locations where we're going.
Well, I think that's why he did everything so far off the strip.
Have you been back? Were you at the first one? Because I went to last year's, but
I went to last year. I didn't go to the first one. I went to last year's. I did last year.
So we're going back to a high school.
And that's where we met. We met at last year's.
That's right.
I was blessed with the gorgeous ass of atheism that is owned by Zach. Zach has a gorgeous ass, ladies and gentlemen. It's like fucking perfect. I stare at it constantly. He knows I do too. It's okay. I hope it's okay with you, but I'm gonna
call myself the ass of the atheist community, but I don't put it on t-shirts yet. I probably should. Maybe
amazing.
That'd be a different kind of shirt. I should charge more for Patreons if that's the way it's going.
I think so. I think that would be a good thing to do. But that's where we met. Was last year's NanoCon. Tear. Yeah,
the podcast.
It was the podcast panel, and you guys were trying to
shove was running
amounts of alcohol down my throat at 11 o'clock in the morning.
We didn't get in trouble like we did in Chattanooga because it wasn't run by. Well, it was Unitarian, so they're
What
kind of
happened
religious.
in Chattanooga? Wait, I was there. What did I miss?
Oh, there was like an older couple like running the soundboard, and they were very upset because we cursed during our podcasting session.
Why did nobody tell me about this? It's like
Interesting that didn't come up because like Bobby was like, "Oh yeah, during my session, I talked to them before, and like I knew how to talk to them because I used to be religious." And it's like I didn't.
Why am I just finding out about this? This shit was back in August.
That's right.
Why am I just hearing about this?
You missed out, and I didn't. It was unusual, but I'm kind of glad. Although I don't know if I'm glad that I'm doing it, but I'm glad there's like kind of a moderator because we're kind of hurting cats when you got podcasters. The only thing that's going to be weird is, so we have like 45 minutes for a session or 40 minutes.
Something like that.
There's like 7 people. I'm going to say, hey, introduce yourself. We're going to be done.
Yeah, exactly. Like I actually would like for us to show up a little earlier so we can.
And nobody's going to get a word in edgewise. I did think initially we could just split it up, but it sounds like everybody wants to do 2 sessions. But if you really want to do 2 sessions,
we'll figure it out. I mean, we'll figure it out.
That's true. Once we get there.
We had about, I think it was like 6 of us on the panel last year, and we did pretty well.
Yeah, I think I did 1. I don't remember.
You did 1. I wound up doing all fucking 3.
There were 3?
Wow. There were 3. There was a demand and a third one was put in. There were 3. And the most I remember is you guys trying to get me drunk before noon. You were like, come on, go drink.
Well, that was the thing about last year is like they said once it was like lunchtime, we're like, all right, people can drink. And then people just,
and we all decided lunchtime was at 10.
I had stuff in the trunk. It was we're in high school this year. I don't think that's necessarily,
Yeah, high schools you can't drink at, but last year it was at a church, and they let us drink.
Which I guess is okay. I mean, it is a church. I mean, in Tennessee, you make your own rules in a church, right?
Yeah, they just they were like, yeah, fuck it, we don't give a shit if you get shit-faced, just don't wreck the place.
Now, did Tennessee try to drop any of their laws about like child brides, or is that still happening there?
It's
local politics time.
It's going back and forth. I'm right on the Kentucky border, so I get to hear both. It's going back and forth in both. I think the age of
Kentucky, you're like, oh, we need to talk about this. Whoa.
I think Kentucky, like the age of consent is like 14.
It's pretty young in a lot of the country. It's finally coming up like, hey, by the way, we got these really weird, fucked up laws in a lot of states.
Girls can get married and this shit ain't right. But it's been more of a concern as far as I know. Like I'm in Middle Tennessee. So we're not the mountain deliverance, banjo playing, toothless kind of people. And like we're all like, yeah, this applies to East Tennessee, where they, marry their coal miner daughters off at 14. Kind of deal. Yeah, this is where the concern's coming in. The further west you go, the better.
It's about being in the South where it's like, no, it's the other parts of the state that are backward. We're okay.
We're not that bad. The more west you go in Tennessee, the kind of better it gets. More ghetto, but it gets better. Like I can understand why people stay away from Tennessee from the East Coast because your first experience is literally the holler. It's the fucking holler. It's like Dolly Parton ass shed having mountain motherfuckers when you first come from the East Coast. So I'm like, yeah, I understand why y'all fucking think we're all like this, but no, we're okay. We're good. We're
okay.
My area is a very blended military college mix, so it's rare to find somebody that actually grew up here and is still here. Like we're this weird fucking blend of just people from everywhere. Because every Northerner wants to try the South and somehow winds up here.
Yeah, I know. It's like I moved here out of college, and haven't moved back.
Yeah, you get stuck here. I've been here for 10 years now.
You have a Canadian co-host. That's the rumor.
Yeah, I do. I have a Canadian co-host.
Is it true that you're going to go up to Calgary or wherever the hell he is?
Yes.
When he gets married, which I believe is happening pretty soon.
October.
Are you going to a church on purpose?
Yes, and he's making me light the unity candle.
Ooh.
Which means I'm probably going to burn the church now.
I was like, you're going to the one church in all of Canada? Not really.
It might be the one church in all of Canada.
The Catholic Church has a toehold everywhere. So
she's super Catholic. and he's super atheist, which is hilarious. And he wants
So
the
he's okay with the getting married in a church
yeah, he's
deal.
totally okay with it, but he decided to
Nice.
pick the divorcee atheist single mother to light the unity candle in the church. Believe me, the irony is not lost on anybody.
You're just proving that, like, see, I didn't get hit by lightning. We can keep going now.
Yeah, it's like, okay, now the whole fucking church is in flames, but it'll totally be okay. Jen's got this. And I'm like, I'm divorced. I'm single. I'm a single mother. Why am I lighting the fucking unity candle? Like, there's got to be somebody better than me. I'm dooming your fucking marriage. Like, do you understand this? I am completely dooming your marriage, right?
But so the two of you haven't met, right?
Face to face, no, we haven't. It doesn't feel
And
that way, though. It's weird.
That's the problem with Canada. I'm like, okay, we got Toronto, then like this vast tundra, and then like Vancouver, but he's somewhere in the middle, right? It's a very big country, by the way.
He's
my
the
hands.
province.
You can't see this in iTunes.
My geography is not too good because I've been drinking, but I think he's the province directly next to British Columbia.
He mentioned mountain time, so yeah, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, they're just over like North and South Dakota. Yeah, like Calgary, Alberta is just over North and South Dakota. So this is like our fucking wilderness. Like, think about it. Do you know anybody from Wyoming? Do you know anybody that lives in South Dakota or North Dakota? I mean, let's fucking think about this.
It's been a new show. There's like 7 of them. Come on.
Like we know not Wisconsin, Wyoming exists, but have you ever met somebody from Wyoming?
Saying
I actually have.
Crew. They live in. They went to Reason.
I have met somebody from Wyoming, Cody, Wyoming. I have met somebody from South Dakota, and I have met somebody from North Dakota. That is one of the benefits of being in military towns. Places you don't think exist, people are actually from there.
Now, we have to ask, I don't know why I'm saying we, from New York, how the hell did you get to Clarksville, Tennessee?
My ex-husband was military, and he got stationed here at Fort Campbell, and we split, and my son's autistic with speech issues. And he was getting really good occupational therapy for everything here. And the school was doing so well with him that I was like, why am I going to move? And then, I got wrapped up in my group, Clarksville Atheist. And they're fucking amazing. And I'm like, I'm not going to find a group of people like this that see things the same way I do. And the school's working so well for my son. So why am I going to leave?
So how far is Clarksville from Nashville?
About an hour. We're just an hour west. Depending on where in Nashville, you're about an hour and a half west. It's not too bad. I'm still getting a hotel room, though, because I don't want to sit in a car for an hour / shit-faced drunk at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Good call.
Isn't it? Good call. And I know the hotel, and it's great, and it's very comfy. And like I said, I have a 6-year-old. It's kind of nice to get away for a night and not have to worry about waking up to mommy. It's nice. It is nice to think about.
So what is your own religious background? Were you Catholic growing up?
I was Catholic. But I was like so lax Catholic. Like so lax. Like my grandmother was alive. We went every Sunday. My grandmother died when I was 5. And my father didn't give a shit. And my mom taught me to question everything. She was like, no, you need to question everything. You need to study shit. Like there was always science and news on, but she's the I believe in God, but I don't believe in religion person. And she prays and she believes in heaven, but I think it's more for a comfort thing than an actual belief. She believes in all that shit. But we never took it fucking seriously. Like I did communion, I did confirmation, but it was never taken seriously. And she always told me to question everything. So I, decided to find myself in my teens. And I started to research religion. And one of my uncles actually works for the Archdiocese of New York City. He actually coaches the St. Patrick's Cathedral softball team. Super religious, super hypocritical, super cherry picker. And I divulged into religion and I read the Bible and I was like, wait a fucking minute here. So it's my fucking fault that this motherfucker couldn't say no to this bitch. My fault, because I'm a fucking chick. And women I was like, oh
Sounds
my God,
about right.
We're just the most evil fucking things on the planet. Like women are just vile. Fuck that. I'm not this bad. And then, I went into Islam and studied that, and I was like, oh fuck no. Oh, this is way more fucked up than Catholicism ever fucking was, and the Christianity branches, and I looked into Taoism and Buddhism, and all it was just bullshit. I was like, but there's evidence that says this is the reason for this, and this is just a story. So, I didn't know there was a word for what I thought until I was like 25. I didn't actually know what an eighth. I didn't know there was a word for it. I just know I didn't believe in the shit. I just knew I thought it was bullshit. And poof, made an atheist.
Well, how did you find the Clarksville group? How'd they all get together, and what's it like to have this community? Clearly, it's very important.
It came up on my Facebook. It came up on my Facebook page. So I joined, and I was kind of like spotty here and there. And then I started dating somebody who was very active in the group and actually got me super active in the group. And now it's, we have, kind of, I mean, it's close to 400 members, but we have, our core little circle, and we're just like, hey, you want to go out to dinner? Hey, I'm having a fucking poker night. Now it's once a month. It's expected. People are at my house for a fucking poker night. And it's very casual. We're not all about atheism. We don't always discuss atheism. It's kind of a quote unquote safe space that we can be around people and not have to worry in the South about being judged and losing our jobs and all that other crazy shit. And we network. We actually do we do some community shit. We do Ask an Atheist Day. We're doing that next week, where we go out to one of the local parks and we put up like, a booth, and it's Ask an Atheist Day, and we answer questions. We do park cleanups over the summer when it's warmer. We clean up the parks and the little common areas in town, and we do tutoring with each other's kids. We have a huge babysitting network. Like, we actually do shit for the community. We have a softball team that's actually in a church league.
Nice.
It's a church league softball team that,
Have you done the Ask an Atheist?
No, this year's going to be my first one.
I was kind of wondering if you had any questions or asks.
This year's going to be my first one. This is going to be my first one this year. So I'm super fucking excited about it. Like, ridiculous. But come to NanoCon. You'll see the Clarksville. I'm wearing the Clarksville Atheist shirt. Come and ask.
What's that?
What is that? We primarily have members in Montgomery County, Tennessee, and Christian County, Kentucky. But we've got members out in Nashville. We've got members out in Davidson County, Rutherford County. We're kind of just like all inclusive. If you're cool, you're cool. You're within an hour. Fucking swing on by.
Well, when I was doing the tour of the Minnesota Atheists, I feel like I interviewed like 4 in 6 weeks. Found out that there's a minor league baseball team called the St. Paul Saints, but once a year they call themselves the St. Paul Aints, and they actually have an atheist group support that, and they have T-shirts and hats. And I'm like, well, I gotta get one of those. So maybe that's what you need for your your softball league. Like, you have special uniforms.
We're actually putting in another T-shirt order, T-shirt, sweatshirt, and car decal. We actually have a thing with the car decals in our group that if somebody spots a car decal, you owe somebody a candy bar. So we actively stalk each other in parking lots and out and about. We actively go and stalk each other and take pictures of each other's cars. So
yeah, I lost my flying spaghetti monster out of the back of my car.
But I
thought somebody removed it, but it actually just fell off. It was not a good story.
Once you put another order in, I'll totally hook you up.
Excellent.
I'll hook you up. We do it on kind of an honor system. People just donate whatever they can. We put the order in, and you don't have to pay for them. You just come by and pick it up. It's very much a kind of we take care of each other community. I can't count how many times my girls have been over here with bottles of wine ready to get drunk when I'm going through some shit. Or like, we do work on each other's houses and watch each other's kids, and it's very much a family vibe. Very much a family vibe. It's really cool. We tend to date around in the group a lot, which makes things a little uncomfortable sometimes, but it's not too bad.
Well, is there extra pressure because of the military aspect of it? Because there's this assumption that if you're in the military, you have this religious background, because doesn't seem like it's very
There's never been easy. A lot of pressure.
if they're because they're chaplains, but you know, if you're not a believer,
they actually have humanist chaplains now. They have a humanist chaplain in Fort Campbell. I think they actually have one here in Fort Campbell now. Nobody knows who he is. It's kind of a myth. He's like this mythical being.
Kind of a myth.
But they now have humanist chaplains. But no, there's never. I don't know what you mean by pressure. I don't know what you mean by pressure.
Well, I've heard
like
stories of people in the military who've like, oh, if you don't go to church services, then you have to clean up.
You should probably talk to my ex more about that. You will meet him at NanoCon. We're actually really good friends.
Met in Chattanooga, yeah.
Huh? Yeah, you met him
because he had some friends there, and they were talking about kind of their military.
We're actually all in the same group. Story. That's all from my group. We're all from the same group. But yeah, talk to him about that if you want to have him on. I'm sure he'll come on. Talk to him this weekend about that. He'll be there. And talk to him all because I don't have any experience with that. So I'm not going to sit here and speak for other soldiers and what they've been through, but talk to him about that. I think we actually touched on that on my show. He was on one of my episodes. I can't remember which one now. He's on some episode. I have to ask him.
One of those episodes.
One of our episodes. I'll ask him later.
So you feel like we're going to be okay getting all of the atheist podcasters together? Because we got Marissa, we got Callie, we got Tucker, maybe we got the Krails.
We got the Krails and me.
I think that might be it. I don't know if
I think we're going to be cool.
That's right, Cass.
And Cass.
Everybody's agnostic.
We have to battle Cass.
We have to battle him?
We have to battle Cass. We have to battle Cass.
I see a cat.
Cass is the final boss.
But he was the moderator last year. Did he decide he didn't want to do it this year?
I know. I was just like, yo, come do the fucking panel. He was like, all right. Because that's exactly, that's exactly how we do shit. Yo, come do this. Okay.
Well, he is a community. He's part of the Murfreesboro one. Actually, Gail Jordan, who's like hosting some of the events, she's actually running for like state senate there.
Tonight.
And she's up, and I was kind of because when I had Patrick on the show, like she was running. I guess she must have made it to the next level. But they had some really
actually the vote is tonight.
Bad like political ads against her because she had married like two guys and got shit for it.
Actually, one of my friends was actually used in a attack ad for her. She had kind of highlighted my friend Shane and his husband, and they took their whole story and like spun it against her, how godless she is and the gays, and yeah. I'm actually going to check.
I think she made a comment about jokingly like I'm destroying America because she married two guys, and then of course Republican Party's like, oh, let's take advantage of this.
Yeah.
Because we're the Jesus state.
I'm trying.
And I think those are pretty big, but I just win or loss, it's cool to see, atheists running for office and getting out there, especially in really red states. I feel like Tennessee's pretty red.
Tennessee is extremely red, and
like
Tennessee
Gore
actually has
didn't
a law.
Even win when he was vice presidential candidate.
Right, but Tennessee actually has a law in the books that you need to believe in some kind of a higher power to hold office.
Which is illegal, but nobody will challenge it.
Right, but people are actually trying to challenge it with Gail Jordan because they're like, well, she's an outspoken atheist. And according to our state laws, she can't hold office.
Well, it'd be nice to find out.
Well, damn it, I had something that kept it up, and now I can't find it. And it's going to drive me fucking crazy. But the voting's today. Yeah. It's actually today. And we're all waiting on results for it now. Oh, here we go. Oh, Gail did not make it, unfortunately. Shane Reeves won the special election. 13,139 votes to 5,179 votes for Gail's.
Still got 5,000.
Yeah, she still got 5,000. She got over 5,000, which is a good sign. Is a good sign. I honestly don't think that we're gonna see a secular candidate in our generation. I think it's gonna be our kids.
Yeah, just
our kids are adults, honestly.
The fact it's sometimes depressing when it's like one party is like, we're the party of Jesus, and the other party is like, well, no, we're religious too. Like Democrats are like, I mean, there was a law in Georgia.
I'm like, why is this even a fucking thing?
They're passing a law in Georgia, basically allowed private adoption agencies to say, "Fuck you, LGBT people."
Yeah, we're not.
And the one like state senator who actually was on the side of people being able to adopt was like, well, they believe in God too. It's like, oh no. I mean, yes, they should have the right, but
And
it's like,
meanwhile, we're all standing
no.
like,
we're all religious, and they're the bad ones. Like,
meanwhile, we're standing here like, wait, this is illegal. This is illegal. This is illegal.
No, it's really good for religion and politics to be separate. No, not in this country. Yeah, it's over. It's way beyond.
Me. There's a law. We have a book that has.
We have a book. I have a book too.
Like we have a book that actually has a law in it.
There's
more than 10 of them. There's more than 10, and that's number one. Like right. Yeah, that's the country's Bible. That's the United States Bible. It's called the Constitution. Yes, that's illegal. And they're like, we from the fucking South. We should have left during the Civil War. Like, no, you got your ass kicked, and that's why you couldn't. And that's why you have to follow the fucking laws that everybody else does.
Don't you love being in the South?
And we're not even in like the deep South. That's what scares me.
I guess it depends on where you are in the state. So are there certain people you're actually looking forward to meeting? I mean, when it comes to conferences, are you more of a hangout person, or I need to see the talks?
I know I'm going to go see the talks, but I like to meet everybody. I hang out. Because I don't get to see you guys that often. We really don't get to all get together that often, except for conferences.
This is a well-located. Clearly, for me, it's great because my parents live in town, so I have a place to stay.
Right.
Although I do like the Reason Con setup because we're all in the same hotel and we don't have to go anywhere.
We were talking about this earlier. I like to, I'm staying at a hotel about 10, 15 minutes away, just because I like to, because you kind of feel like you're on a lot because you're doing the panels and you're meeting people, and it's kind of on for 12 hours. And then we all go out afterwards and get shit-faced and go out to dinner. And it's like, I love you guys. I really do. But I need a half an hour to just kind of sit and breathe and not be surrounded by so many people. And then I'm okay. Give me a half an hour and change my shit, take a shower, smoke a cigarette, have a cup of coffee. Boom. Let's go out and get fucked up. Because that's pretty much what we do. We do conferences, and then we're like, okay, where's the bar?
I'm on the other side. I don't know exactly where my parents live compared to where this place is. But there are some events that happen like in Murfreesboro. I'm like, that's like 45 minutes away. That's a serious effort.
Murfreesboro's a nice area. I like Murfreesboro.
I need to get, in the van, if there's some kind of van like the Doblers have, because Jim's Mr. Drive people around. Yep.
No, I like
it. It is kind of nuts how many people are going to be there. Like, I think Bill and Susie are going to be there. I know, of course, Callie and Celeste's going to be there, Marissa. And right. The good thing is there's a big community in Cincinnati, and they're all coming down. And then
most of the Clarksville community, which is the next biggest town, is coming too. We're all fucking packing up and going. And then we've got Cincinnati, we've got Nashville, we've got Murfreesboro, we've got Pleasant View, we've got Clarksville coming.
Apparently there are people in Atlanta besides me.
Atlanta's coming.
I know Mandisa's coming, and I think there's some other people that I've met on Facebook, but not in person. I'm really bad at getting out of the house. That's why we did
You didn't meet Mandisa? She was at.
No, I've met her. I met her. I've seen her at a couple of events here, but I've seen her I've seen her at ReasonCon once. I've seen her in Chattanooga. I've seen her in Nashville. I've seen her in Atlanta twice. At two different events.
You have to come over and sit and talk to her. She's one of the best people.
I mean, yeah, we hang out, and she's definitely in the top 5 of hugs. Callie might have the number 1 spot. She's
her and Callie battle it out for me with hugs.
Exactly.
Because I'm so tiny. You can completely engulf me in people. I'm so tiny. So I am the best hug judger.
And just a little
you give the one arm shoulder hug is what you do.
Oh, I do?
You do the
I'll try to improve.
Just so that I can't look at your ass. You're
it's the half hug.
No more looking.
How close?
So are you bringing alcohol in the trunk that we're going to drink in the parking lot?
Well, that's the question. It's see, my wife's coming up and she might be going to the reception that night. So it's
I get to finally meet your wife. Oh my God.
We shall see.
Hopefully.
She exists.
Wow. I
It's
thought you
true.
were like totally lying this whole time and just like telling us so that you
I
didn't
just
seem
got
sad
this
and
thing in one of
lonely.
those 50 cent,
Yeah,
coin things
I
at
thought,
the grocery
like this way you
store.
just
Yeah,
didn't
it's
seem
totally
sad and
fake.
lonely like the rest of us,
Like the
like
rest of us.
sad, lonely, and
You
single like
seem
the rest
lonely.
of
You got
us.
your whole Clarksville group, right?
Yeah, and like everybody's like coupling now, and I'm like, ew, ew,
Hmm,
why? Yeah.
I
Okay.
see.
And I'm recent post breakup, so I'm like super bitter, and I'm like, ew, coupling.
Well, at least you got some wine out of the deal.
We're still friends. We're you'll see us both at NanoCon. We're still friends. I mean that it actually ended out pretty well. We're actually better friends probably. But like it's cool. We're friends. We plow each other with alcohol and fucking cheese fries and
Cheese fries sounds like a
like
very
that
friendly thing.
that's like a fucking awesome friend right there. You bring alcohol to my house and then you buy me fucking cheese fries? What the fuck? Besties. That's bestie level shit right there.
Yeah, and the thing about Nashville, man, I used to just go to my parents' house, but now I'm like, well, I got to get hot chicken. That's a requirement.
Ooh, I
And
can
of course, actually, Heretic Woman, Deborah's coming down from Canada.
Is she?
Someone's coming from Canada, and she told me like her husband isn't going to go, and he's like a beer guy. I'm like, well, there's like 50 breweries in town, so
There
trust me,
is.
you can find plenty. Just let me know what kind you like. That's a little bit of a problem. You go to another state, you're like, well, there's beer that I can't get in Georgia. There we go.
I didn't know she was
And
coming down.
weird thing about beer laws, you can have higher alcohol beer in Tennessee.
Really?
There was a
See, I'm not a
beer
big beer
from
person.
Dogfish Head that's like 18%, and the Georgia limit's 14. So I was like, yes, I'm getting this. I'm going to keep it for a while because it's going to take a while. It's a little strong for me, but it's nice to see what else is there. I mean, that's kind of what I did for Reason Gone. I'm like, what type of beer do you like? Let me
I
get
gotta
local
come to Reason Con. Like the stories I fucking heard. I gotta
next
do fucking Reason Con.
next year. They better represent. So tell Keith he's a hoser, but he probably knows it.
He knows it. He's such a fucking piece of shit.
So what's coming up for not another atheist podcast? I didn't think I asked why you named it that, just because
I think it
there's
was
so
Keith just
many.
picked it. Keith just picked it. And I was like, yeah, okay, that
I mean,
works.
this was the 2014, 2015 era when a bunch of shows got created.
Right. And we
A
were
lot of the
like,
shows are similar in terms of number. Well, not you, of course, but like Marissa's getting 150, and she's only like 2 or 3 episodes ahead of me, and like Trav is pretty
well, we didn't
close.
want to like oversaturate and
Yeah,
like run out of shit to talk about. You know what I
too
mean?
much of a good thing, right?
Like we don't want to run out of shit to talk about. And like I said, it's single mom life is not easy, which is why I'm not at like every fucking convention that I want to be at. So we do it every other week.
But you have upcoming guests and upcoming shows, and maybe
I
even like a
think
dream guest that you haven't gotten on yet besides George R.
oh
R. Martin, because you just yell at him the whole hour.
I would just yell at him for an hour, like, what's happening with the fucking book? Give me the book. Give me the book. I want to see notes. Give me the fucking notes. Give me the fucking
Just
notes.
yeah, you have a draft sent to me. Google Doc. Send
I
me the
want
Google Doc.
I want what the fuck you're sending to your publishers right now. All right. I want some shit. Okay. Fuck this Aces Wild shit. Fuck this Targaryen book bullshit. Give me your fucking notes. Like, show me your dick and give me your notes. I need to know. Oh God, Richard Dawkins. He'd be my dream guest because everybody always wants to interview Dawkins on his intellect. And I want to interview Richard.
Richard, I like the way you put it.
Like everybody wants to interview Dawkins. I want to interview Richard.
Well, there is that personal, the public kind of persona you get, and then yeah,
Right. And that's actually why I really enjoyed interviewing Matt Dillahunty, because it was like interviewing Matt. We weren't interviewing Matt Dillahunty of the Atheist Experience.
Yeah.
Matt.
I mean, you were asking Matt about like porn and stuff, which was great, and
right.
But it was like
bringing my friends.
Hey, remember how cool it was to get to know people in this community and go, hey, we have this thing in common, and how he got started and what it's like to talk to like apologists and to be like friends with them and have them over to his house. And yeah, it was a good one.
I really enjoyed that.
Innocence.
Like that's why I like getting to know who we're interviewing or interviewing my friends, because it doesn't turn into the same fucking interview that they give in every fucking show. No, I want something different. Like you said, we were talking about fucking porn. What kind of fucking porn we like? Like,
yeah, I don't think that he was asked that. Like when he did the what was the one with him and Aaron Ra and Seth Andrews, the three something or other. It's not Amigos.
I can't remember now.
Godless something.
Fuck. Yeah, I'm such a good friend, aren't I? I'm such a good fucking friend. I'm such a good friend.
Well,
like, I don't fucking know what you.
Before we get finished, is there anything that I didn't cover? And of course, where the hell can people find you and not Keith?
Just fucking Google Not Another Atheist Podcast. We're like all over the fucking place, dude. We're on Google Play. We're on fucking iTunes and Podbean and other shit. I don't know. But we have a website. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Our Twitter is NYCA Atheist. New York Calgary Atheist. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We have a website. Not Another Atheist Podcast at gmail.com is our email. Podbean, like we're just fucking everywhere, dude. We're just everywhere.
We are everywhere now. Good to know. Well, if you want to support this show for some reason, be like Bobby, Hugh, Teody, and Sleepy Genie and support the show on Patreon.
If you want to support this show, you come to NanoCon and you get Jen drunk.
There you go.
That's how you support.
White wine, Chilichino.
Cabernet Sauvignon. I'm sorry. Sauvignon Blanc. Cabernet Sauvignon was the one I was
different
tonight.
wine altogether.
Cabernet Sauvignon was the one that I actually liked. Yes, actually, my favorite Sauvignon Blanc is actually Screw Top, which I know.
I don't know. There's actually good stuff now. It used to be a joke, but now it's actually. And sometimes the cork breaks, and that's not.
Yeah, and this is like it's perfectly dry. It's not overly citrusy. I was like, wow, this shit is actually really fucking good. And if we would have had it at the church this year, you would have seen me just swigging this shit out of the bottle. Like, fuck it. Like, Jen, you all right? Yeah, I'm good. You want coffee? Fuck no, I don't want no fucking coffee. It's wine time, bitch.
Okay, so this should be an interesting one. You have a 6-year-old and you have your own sense of humor. Our guests want to know, do you have a joke that you want to share?
No.
No,
we don't do jokes. It's our entire household. Our conversations are nothing but strings of smart ass answers. There's no answers.
That's what you're gonna get.
So
just take it and like it.
He's my kid. He's my kid. So we don't sit there and set up jokes or anything like that. But it's just a string of smart ass conversations in my house.
And that's hard to believe. No, it's not.
Exactly. I know, right? My son's exactly like me, except he's quieter. He's much quieter than I am. He's much more observant and much more of an introvert than I am. Same mouth, same attitude. He doesn't curse as much.
And as much. That's good.
He'll tell me that's a bad word. Like I'll say shit, and he's like, "No, mommy, that's a bad word." And I'm like, "Fuck, you're right. God damn it." God apparently is not real to my son. The word God is not real. You have to say gosh. And you can't say bless you. It's blessious. I'm like, I'm going to walk upstairs one time and watch my kid watching the Atheist Experience on fucking YouTube. Like, he's more fucking militant than I am at 6. My kid's either going to save the world or completely and utterly destroy it.
I like that.
It's going to be one or the other. There are no fucking gray areas in this household.
The prince who was promised, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. So, oh my God.
Iron Throne.
That is it. That is what we refer to my son as from now on, as the prince who was promised.
The unburned.
He is Azor Ahai. My son is Azor Ahai, the prince that was promised. That's what we refer to him as from now on.
Well, we will say, since we're at the end, you can follow me on Twitter at Zachrilege. Like the Zachrilege Cast page on Facebook. Send all love mail, hate mail, guest ideas to zachrilege.cast@gmail.com. We'll say fuck you to Keith. But thank you to Jen for being on tonight. We have to have Keith on another time, especially to talk about this Catholic connection or hockey or Tim Hortons or poutine.
No. He had his fucking chance.
That's true. You get one chance in this world.
Exactly. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity grows.
This show will be out.
I'm totally fucking up the song right now.
A few days in advance of the conference. So Come to Nashville, my precious heathen friends. Don't let the guys with the weird hair doing Twitter giveaways and telling you God has a plan for you, and that plan involves you watching videos with guys with weird hair telling you about God's plan, like a person who translated something into English into an alien dialect and then back into English, making it sound as goofy as actual scripture. Hey, it's late. I'm kind of tired. I couldn't come up with a better sign-off line. Good night and good luck. And
your plan is to come meet great heathens and get super drunk with us this weekend. That's the real plan.
See? Best plan ever. Good night, everybody.